We're about to break down 10 shocking claims Tom Bower reveals about Meghan and Harry, and these stories are raising serious eyebrows. Tom Bower is coming through with a bold new book titled Betrayal, and this time, all the attention is logged on Harry and Meghan. An early excerpt has already dropped, and the claims inside are causing major reactions, with reports saying the couple is not pleased at all. These aren't small rumors either. These are heavy claims that dive straight into private royal concerns. One of the biggest allegations in the book centers on what was supposedly being said behind closed doors. According to Bower, Queen Camilla allegedly told a friend she believed Meghan had brainwashed Harry.
The Queen Camilla said that Harry had been brainwashed by Meghan, and that in fact members of the royal family felt that Meghan kind of changed Harry's personality, and he went from a fun-loving guy that we all loved, that we all liked, to this rather furrow-browed guy who seemed to hate everybody and everything.
That's not just casual talk. It's described as a serious concern from within parts of the royal family, with claims that Harry wasn't thinking on his own anymore, and that Meghan had strong influence over his choices. If any of this is even close to true, it suggests there was deep suspicion inside the palace that the public never fully saw. And people have been noticing a change too, with some saying Harry doesn't seem like the same easygoing person he once was. Tom Bower drops another wild claim, and this one goes back to 2018, right after Harry and Meghan returned from their honeymoon. According to the story, Harry, William, and their wives were all sitting down for a calm tea meeting, and at first, everything seemed completely fine. But then, things allegedly took a sharp turn when Meghan suddenly snapped at Prince William. The whole mood reportedly flipped in seconds, turning what should have been a peaceful moment into pure tension. And here's the part that really gets people talking. Harry was right there the entire time. He was reportedly just sitting, even sipping his tea while everything was getting tense, and he didn't step in to cool things down or ease the situation. That detail alone has raised a lot of eyebrows, especially considering the history between the brothers. The tension didn't just appear out of nowhere either. The book claims Prince William had already been wary, even warning Harry before the engagement that the relationship was moving too fast with the American actress. But Harry didn't take that advice and moved forward with the marriage anyway. After this alleged incident, it's said William started keeping his distance, not just from Meghan, but from Harry too. Bower also suggests Meghan saw the royal system as something that held her back from bigger ambitions on the global stage. According to the story, Meghan believed the only way to reach real global influence was to step away from the royal family alongside Harry. The book claims she had big ambitions to become a major force in media, fashion, and global influence, aiming far beyond the traditional royal role. But critics have pointed out that all the careful image control, celebrity-styled branding, and constant public drama made everything feel less like royal duty and more like an ongoing Hollywood PR show. As for Harry, the book paints him as someone stuck in the middle of two completely different worlds. On one side, there's his royal roots and family, and on the other, the new life he built with Meghan. That pressure reportedly left him feeling uncertain about where he truly stands. There's also a claim that Harry worries about his future title, especially when Prince William becomes king. After seeing King Charles III remove Prince Andrew's titles, Harry reportedly fears the same thing could happen to him one day, adding even more tension to an already complicated situation.
Harry apparently, reportedly, according to the book, is worried he'll be banished from royal circles when William becomes king. Well, that is almost certainly true. He'll probably lose his HRH title and his prince title.
If that ever happens, it would go down as one of the most dramatic royal decisions in modern history. In simple terms, it would be like getting completely cut off from the royal circle, almost like being removed from the family group chat for good, while still having royal blood. That kind of move would send shockwaves everywhere and change how people see Harry's place in the monarchy overnight. Tom Bower also claims Meghan's team was always watching the royal family closely, keeping track of their moves and timing things carefully. One example he gives is when Princess Catherine was scheduled to appear at the Royal Variety performance on November 19th, a huge event packed with media attention. According to the book, Meghan's publicist allegedly noticed a date and lined up Meghan's Netflix trailer right around the same time. Bower frames this as a deliberate strategy to pull focus and shift the spotlight back onto Meghan. In his view, these kinds of moves suggest a bigger pattern, where media attention was being carefully managed to stay in the headlines. He even suggests the Sussexes were facing pressure in Hollywood, and that these actions were more about staying visible than anything else. On top of that, Harry reportedly feels the royal institution left him to handle things alone, especially when it came to security and personal protection, which only adds another layer to the ongoing tension.
Harry claims he and his wife Meghan felt abandoned, a major factor in their move to California. He added he felt trapped by his family and the toxic environment he perceived he was living in.
The system that once protected Harry suddenly felt like it stepped back and said, "Good luck out there." From his point of view, that shift hit hard, especially when it came to security and support. But from the palace side, critics argue it was simply the result of stepping away from royal duties, and that you can't leave the role and still expect the same level of protection. That clash in perspectives quickly turned into one of the biggest ongoing conflicts between Harry and the monarchy. When Harry first introduced Meghan to William and Catherine, the book claims there were concerns right from the start. Tom Bower suggests they viewed Meghan as someone who didn't fully see herself fitting into the traditional royal life in London. Instead, they allegedly believed she had bigger ambitions beyond the usual expectations, aiming for something far more global and influential. There are also claims that they questioned her long-term expectations within the royal structure, especially considering how unlikely it was for Harry to ever become king. From that viewpoint, they felt there was a disconnect between ambition and reality, which only added tension early on. The book also brings up Harry's past struggles, including difficult periods in his youth, and suggests there were worries about how those experiences shaped his decisions. According to this perspective, Meghan's role within the family was seen by some as creating division rather than unity, which made relationships inside the royal circle even more complicated. Just before the One Young World Summit, Meghan made a move that had people talking. According to Tom Bower, her team pushed for strict control over the entire event, down to the smallest details. The book claims journalists were heavily restricted, with some allegedly not allowed inside at all, while protesters were kept far away to avoid any disruption. That's a big shift from the usual charity events, where crowds typically gather outside to support and cheer. But this time, the atmosphere was completely different. The claim suggests there was no open crowd outside and only selected photographers were allowed in, creating a very controlled setting. Even the journalists who got access were reportedly hand-picked, with royal commentator Omid Scobie mentioned as one of the few allowed inside. That level of control raised questions about how the event was being presented to the public. What was meant to be a global charity summit reportedly started to feel more like a carefully staged media moment. Instead of a natural and open environment, everything appeared highly managed, with coverage seemingly planned in advance. Viewers watching from home might have seen a smooth and polished event, but behind the scenes, the book claims things didn't unfold so easily, with Meghan arriving with her own set of rules that had to be followed closely. Tom Bower also claims that after the Netflix and Spotify deals ended, things started looking shaky behind the scenes. The book suggests their financial pressure was building fast, with high security costs reportedly reaching around $3 million a year, while income from speeches and brand deals wasn't keeping up. That gap, according to the claims, started putting real strain on their situation.
England show that Harry and Meghan are running out of money as the millions that they accrued from the book Spare and the original Netflix deal are beginning to dwindle.
Even their organization, the Archewell Foundation, reportedly saw a sharp drop in income. It's said to have gone from about $5.3 million down to $2.1 million, while expenses were still high, reportedly hitting around $3.9 million. Donations, which were set to be around $1.2 million, didn't fully cover those costs. Because of that, some of their charitable efforts were reportedly shifted to the Parents Together Foundation, a move that was presented publicly in a positive light, but critics question what it really meant for their long-term philanthropy. Then there's Meghan's lifestyle brand, which introduced a product described as a raspberry fruit spread. The branding pushed it as something special, but critics quickly zeroed in on one detail. According to the book, it wasn't labeled as jam because the texture was too runny to meet the standard definition, and that small detail sparked a lot of online chatter.
The problem is, she's charging $12 a jar for this, and you can get jam that tastes just as good, if not better, for $4. You're paying all that extra money so you can get Meghan Markle to send you a stupid little card that reads "enjoy" in her lame little calligraphy on one side and "as ever" on the other, with, I don't know what that is, if it's a royal seal or what, but it's got a palm tree on it, so I'm guessing not.
So instead, it ended up being called fruit spread, and people online wasted no time joking that it was just a fancy way of saying jam, just a lot more watery. That detail alone had critics raising eyebrows and questioning the whole branding behind it. The jar was reportedly priced at $12, and many felt that was way too high for something they claimed didn't taste any better than regular jam you could grab anywhere. That price point quickly became a hot topic, with people asking if the product really matched the cost.
Turns out it's not actually jam. Under FDA regulations, it's technically a spread.
The technical term for jam includes a 1-for-1 ratio of sugar and fruit. Most people don't do that.
To help boost sales, Meghan's team reportedly shared a story that it came straight from her own kitchen, with her children watching as she made it. But critics weren't fully convinced, with some wondering if customers would actually pay premium prices for something that sounded more like a simple home experiment. So there you have it, 10 shocking claims from Tom Bauer's book Betrayal. Which one caught you off guard the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, share this with someone who needs to see it, and subscribe for more because the next parts are coming soon.